chance. We're back. You ready to rock?
Ready to go.
I'm always ready to rock.
Here we go. Oh! Get sticked in the inflictor!
Get an ambulance. Get an ambulance. Boom. Right off his stomach. Straight off his melon.
Can you believe he did that?
With a long-range shot, the arms up. It's a point.
He was one of the great days.
Welcome to Freddy and the Eighth, back for another week. Great to be with you and great to be looking at round 24 of the NRL with Freddy and the Eighth themselves. Gee, the finals are fast approaching, aren't they, boys?
Looming.
Looming. What's been happening?
No, very little. Just getting through the games. Big weekend calling NRL and NRLW.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was really good.
We had a great game.
Oh, it was so much fun, wasn't it?
Canberra Tigers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, really, really good game. And the expanded comp, everyone was thinking, or wondering if there was enough talent to go around. I think that's been answered.
Who do you think wins it?
The girls, the ladies, I think the Roosters.
I think the Broncos. I saw some good signs from the Broncos. My Knights will be there, but...
Well, Broncos lost the first two. I think Broncos lost their
Broncos
first two.
won by 40.
Yeah, on the weekend.
Yeah, geez, they were impressive.
The only unbeaten team's the Titans. They've been really good.
They are big and strong. They just overpowered Cronulla.
Good stuff. NRLW right here on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Now, I just learnt walking in here to chat with you guys that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Millionaire Hot Seat, is being rested next year.
Eddie will be blowing up.
Oh, I love watching Millionaire Hot Seat.
Someone won 100,000 last night.
Did they?
Yep.
Well, when you're getting dinner ready, it's the perfect thing to have on because you just chime in with the odd answer here and there. But we think we might have come up with an alternative to Eddie Maguire for the new renewal.
Get this. Could be a music. This could be over. Multiple choice. Multiple choice.
Have you ever...
Can you go back and sue?
Oh, man. How did someone not die during the footy show years?
Oh, no.
Daryl came off his motorcycle at the car park that time.
You know what also was crazy? When they were bowling. They were bowling at him and they were bowling beamers. Remember that?
Oh, goodness.
Stewie Clark, he was bowling, wasn't he?
Was he?
Brett Lee.
No, bowling bumpers at him.
Yeah, I know.
Hit Fatty in the head. He had a helmet on.
Oh, dear.
Now, that silly Bollinger.
Doug Bollinger?
Rug Bollinger. You remember he had the rug?
Who?
He had the wig.
His
name wasn't Doug Bollinger.
He's a member of my golf club.
Anyway, so I was coaching at the time, the Roosters, and James Orbison, we all walked in there and said, let's have a go. Mate, first ball, he come in off a short run, just bowled a beam like a bouncer straight at me head. And then it was following me as I was walking away.
Oh, yuck.
James Orbo got in, just went bang, off the front foot.
Really?
Hooked him.
Oh, you wouldn't have liked that.
Viv Richards.
Mate,
Front foot hook.
it was timing and guts.
Wow.
It was very good. Did it twice in a row.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
I soiled my duds. It was scary.
It's been some great... We should look at that. Great rugby league players who have also been good cricketers. Matt Adamson.
Nathan Brown.
Nathan Brown.
Really?
Nathan Brown was like an opening batter. I think he played first. Nathan Brown for Tigers.
Yeah.
He plays now. Yeah, he was
Right,
amazing.
okay.
And Wiki Key. Bronco de Jura. He played
Yes.
for State.
No, the Canterbury front rower. Graham Hughes.
Graham Hughes played he played a heap of games
Mark
for New
Hughes
South Wales.
from
Todd Payton was a good
Newcastle.
player.
Very
Was
good
he?
too.
Yeah, keeper.
Imagine playing for his
Gus
state in two
Gould.
sports.
Gus Gould.
Yeah, I was just going to say, none of them have played for New South Wales. They have done.
2 games.
Now, speaking of board games and trivia and primetime television, Tic Tac Toe's back, boys. It was so successful last time.
It's a great game.
So successful. So what we've got, club at the top,
Yep.
award down the left. I'm going to give Andrew Johns
Is he first?
go because he lost last time.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Go.
So who,
I'll
you pick a club and...
I'll go Clive Churchill.
Yep.
With the Broncos, I'll go Gordon Tallis.
No. He never won one.
So Clive Churchill, Darren Lockyer, year 2000.
Gordon. Gordon
didn't
won
win.
a Clive Churchill.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I'm sure he did.
Okay, so what do we... Hang on.
When
So
did
I've
they-
got... Are you noughts or crosses? What do you want to be?
No, I don't want that spot though. Can I change spots? Like he got it wrong, so he doesn't get a go. So I'll go
Okay,
Cronulla,
yes.
Cronulla, Clive Churchill.
Yeah.
I'll go Luke Lewis.
Tick.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you...
So I'm
oh,
a cross. I'm
okay.
a cross. Give me a cross. Go. What are you now?
So I got to go Wally Lewis medal.
From Roosters,
Yeah.
Sharks or Broncos?
The Wally Lewis medal, that's just for
That's
Queensland.
player of the
isn't
series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
Darren Lockyer.
Player of the series.
How long's it been going for?
Correct.
Do you want me to go?
Lockyer.
Yep.
Lockyer, get one. All
Yeah,
right.
so there
I'll
you
go.
I've told up here, don't I?
So I'll go Clive Churchill.
Yeah.
No, I won't. I'll go.
This is going really well.
Great show. Don't worry about
Eddie. Eddie can have 3 years off.
I'll go Dally M.
Yeah.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Alfie Langer.
Correct. Oh, now, he's the only Bronco to win the Dally M, by the way. Now, Joey, in order to save your
Yeah,
game
I
here,
gotta
you've
do
got to have a
Wally.
Rooster, Wally Lewis medal winner from the Roosters.
It's hard.
Mick Crocker.
Oh, my God. Teddy's not one of them, by the way.
Yeah, Wally Lewis is only Queenslanders, isn't it?
No, the Wally Lewis
No,
medal is
Wally
the
Lewis
player
is-
of the series.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's my go. He didn't get it.
Yeah. It's your
I'll
go.
go Anthony Minicello.
Correct.
When did he get it?
2005.
I can exclusively reveal
Who picked that?
that Brad Fittler
mum
has
and dad.
won the last ever edition of Tic Tac Toe on Freddy and the
The only
Eighth.
game I'm good at.
Now, we were talking before we came on air here, a Dally M medalist from the Roosters.
Can I pick it?
Yeah,
Roger Tuivasa-Sheck.
he did win one, yes.
Boom.
But the one before that,
Was there a person before that?
there was one, most recently before that, was the one that I was saying that I didn't think you guys would get. Didn't end all that well in the end for them. In fact, I reckon he lasted another season at the club and got booted.
Junior? No.
Played with him in the halves.
Finchy?
Todd Carney.
Oh, there you
But he
go.
won a Clive Churchill.
No,
That's
Dally
right.
M.
Remember he
don't.
took his mum.
I thought it was going to be
photo.
Horry Hastings.
Yesterday's hero, boys. Now, this is where Andrew excels.
This is his go. He's a visual man.
Crossfield looking for Reynolds. Anderson had to wait for it. Good ball to Reed, stepping inside,
Oh, Matt
keeping
Reed.
it alive, back to Anderson
Keith
down the far
Galloway.
touchline.
What?
About the warmest part of Canberra Stadium. He's lost the ball. Referee said
He said it before he even got the
And then
ball.
scored a
I've never
try.
seen anything like it in my life. How did you do that?
He was just lumbering at the
How
back.
do you
He
know
was,
that? He didn't even touch the ball
he
yet.
was so slow. He was lumbering
No,
at
I
the
think
back.
he's doing movies now. I saw a picture of him.
Keith?
Yeah.
He played in the city team that I coached, and
Are
there
you
was
sure?
7 redheads. I'm pretty sure there was,
Jeez.
mate, there was Shane Shackleton,
Oh, that was the other one.
him, Chris Keating,
Yep. He's strawberry
Tommy
blonde.
Simon.
Yeah, he's ginger. He's red.
Yeah, they're proper reds.
7
Might have
redheads.
been
That's a
5.
record.
No, it might have been 5, sorry. I might have lied.
There you
They all
go.
like, they all like hang together. Is there a secret redhead gang?
Full bluey corner.
Steve Southern, remember that? That was his
Bluey
nickname,
Southern?
Bluey.
I'm trying to think
He's a
who
good
the other
player.
one is. Who was the other redhead?
Anyhow, in the meantime, while Freddie's thinking about his next redhead, it wasn't Paul Vorton. Boys, we got your top 8 predictions last time in round 21. This is what you looked at.
Big maybe is the Sharks, a maybe, and the Knights, a big maybe. I think this will definitely happen. I think definitely the Cows will get in there. And the Eels suspension, 4 to both Micah and Regan. When's Dylan? Dylan Brown's back soon.
So Eels. So you both said Eels out.
Yep.
Do you think the Knights can make it?
No,
Big outside. Big.
So you got to think of the other teams out of there as well. So you got South Sydney, Parramatta. Then on top of that, you got Cronulla, who are another. Then again, they're 5 points clear, and then you got Warriors and Canberra. So
I think for the Knights to get in, they have to win maybe, how many grounds to go? 7?
7.
4,
1, 2,
5,
3, 4,
and then
5,
Cronulla
6.
probably only has to win 1 or 2, which is unlikely.
You're going to a function.
I think you've just been to the NRLW launch
That's right.
because
Had to.
Emma was here. I
Yep.
was at the Hall of Fame thing. Looks very good in that pink suit too, by the way.
That's the Barbie thing.
Barbie thing, yeah.
Barbie week.
My wife went and saw Barbie on the weekend, said it was unequivocally the worst thing she's ever seen in her life.
My daughter went and said it was great.
There you go. Okay. Any changes, any variables to what you've come up with now? Look, the Cowboys are on a run, but at the bang losses, it makes it very hard for them now.
Got a bye.
They got the bye, and then they got Sharks at home. Then they got Dolphins away. Now that'll be a danger game.
Yeah, that's a danger game.
But then the last round they got Penrith away, which I think Penrith will rest players.
The Titans' loss was bad. And that was without
unexpected.
Tino, so they're missing players.
No Jeremiah Nene, no Val Holmes, still for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What's that on his head? Is that
Graze. A graze.
I
He gives love bites to the forehead.
The Cowboys, they may struggle.
Now, Parramatta have an interesting situation. I would say on the surface of it, they're going to really struggle. They need to win. They've got a bye, but they'd need to win at least 2 of the 3 games that they have.
Yeah. Brisbane.
Penrith, Roosters.
Gone. And they play Penrith next week? And then get the bye or bye first?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But they're going to struggle this week, aren't they? I mean, Brisbane are red hot.
Yeah, they're flying.
Gee, grand finalists 1 year missing the 8. And then you're looking at the Roosters maybe missing the 8 too, like big, powerful
But this
clubs.
time of year, you need so much. Well, you not so much. You need luck. You need your best players in. Sevo, Regan Campbell-Gillard.
Yeah.
They've been big. Missed Dylan Brown. He missed 7 weeks. Big outs.
What about Souths?
Well, Southside, I think.
You said they were going to make the 4.
I thought they were going to make top 4, but that was before Tom Burgess suspended.
Yeah.
He won't play again unless they make the semi. Heme Sele, the other front rower.
Yeah.
Junior Totola gone. Now,
Yeah.
if Joe Arrow plays this weekend, it'll be a miracle. His back looks shot.
It's hard without front rowers.
Well, mate, front rowers decide
Mate,
who wins.
It's hard without front rowers.
The backs decide by how much.
So this is round 26 to round 23. This is round 16 to round 23, and the changes in the ladder since then.
The Knights aren't even in there.
Yeah, they are 7th.
No.
Oh, they're
I'm
not
talking
even on the
round
list,
16.
no.
Geez, they've made a great run. Manly's got a really hard run in. They're a no. They go Penrith and Warriors away. I'm worried about the Bunnies. They're the ones I'm worried about. I think the top 4 will stay the same. You can lock them in. Canberra's got a pretty good run in on paper.
Starting with Melbourne this week, who they've won, is it
Melbourne
5
away
down there?
No, they've got a pretty tricky draw, Canberra.
And they've got St George and... Anyway.
They finish with Cronulla, and that'll be an important game.
Before we get on to this next thing, just a quick question. Should South move Latrell Mitchell back to the centres?
And play Blake Taff, fullback? No.
No.
No. What would you be telling Latrell?
Well, it's hard without front rowers. Unless you've got that go forward, Cody can't do what Cody does without the go. Everything comes off the back of your front rowers. But not only that, your wingers get your sets rolling off kick receptions at the moment. That inexperienced wingers, young Tyrone Munro.
Yeah.
Great potential, but he's a baby in terms of NRL players. And then Alex Johnson, Alex is a great finisher, but he's not one of those play 2 forwards like a Toto who gets wingers that gets forward. So limited winger experience or no real go forward and no front rowers, you're pushing it uphill.
Makes life pretty difficult. For a fun exercise, we've asked the boys to nominate a club inside the top 8 and a player from yesteryear that you could bring into that club.
This was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Starting with you, Brad. Actually, we'll start with Joey. Let's start with Andrew Johns. Here we go.
Okay, well, for Penrith, I think they got Dylan, my memory, Liam
Edwards.
Martin. They got Liam Martin, it's a back rower. They
Scott
missed-
Sorensen.
Scott Sorensen, but they've missed kick out, that strike back rower. MG, just crazy. Wind him up. This is MG at his very best in the early 90s. Oh, and 2, sorry, I thought we were going to tic-tac.
Right.
Number 2 for me, Glenn Lazarus for the Broncos. Glenn Lazarus and Payne Haas in the front row, my gosh. Warriors, a player I think was nearly a nightmare to tackle, Clinton Torpey. He was an amazing player. 4th, I think the Storm was short of front rower, and Glenn Lazarus is with the Broncos, so I'm going to go Robbie Kearns, and he provides that offload. Your ears will be bleeding playing with Kearns. He asked that many questions. Mal Meninga, I think they're short of the centres. Jared Croker is out injured. I think Mal. Obviously, fullback stocks at the Sharks. Peach brings that X factor. The Knights, Paul Harrigan, who else? And then with the front rowers being out for the Bunnies, Bundy Davidson. Now, wouldn't he put a cat amongst the pigeons playing now?
He wouldn't last real long.
He wouldn't last long.
Righto, Freddie.
So I've gone with
MG as well.
Man, it was a toss-up between Cardi, like a strike back rower. I thought would have been the go for what Penrith needed at the moment. Kerrod Walters, we spoke about that last week. Just a crafty hooker. Well, I think his brother's doing
So Kerrod would take his nephew's spot.
His nephew's doing a great job.
That'll be good come Christmas.
Richie Blackmore.
Richie Blackmore, strike
what a
centre.
player.
He was a beast.
Mate, he was
He was about 6'4", mobile, sidestep.
great footwork.
He was a beast.
Love it.
And
Billy
scary.
Yeah, good lad. Billy Slater,
Fair enough.
I think.
Not a bad player.
Back to fullback, also Brett Mullins. I think they're shorter, just their outside backs. I reckon Brett Mullins at fullback had really improved them. Peach as well. I'll go with Joey at halfback, and I'm going with Big Sammy Burgess.
Got the Warrington job too, Sam.
Got the Warrington job.
He'll be a great coach. We
Leo.
might talk about him
Yeah.
a bit later.
Leo Dinover's a bit hard done by there, isn't he?
Here we go.
MG.
MG.
It was funny.
There's 12 weeks in the modern game. What do you think there when this happened, when Royce
Oh,
scored?
no, I couldn't believe it. Well,
Well, Brandy had to kick the goal to make it 7.
yeah.
Oh,
He was at his psycho best here, wasn't he?
do you know what? I know he was a firebrand, Freddie, but all this stuff overshadows how good a player he was.
No, he was a gun. I'm telling you, he was the best player. In those 90, 91, he was the best player about in the comp. Lethal, in attack and defence. It was funny, we spoke about, celebrating the tackles the other day. Cam McInnes, a great effort, like just a warrior. Mate, MG'd have 12 tackles.
No one to run it.
People would
He's
go,
terrifying, mate.
they'd see him come out of the line, he'd just take off.
One of my first games, I got and hit and went to offload. And as I was about to offload, he was coming at me. And I'm just looking, and this went, and lucky I ducked, and just clipped me. For the rest of the game, every time I got the ball, I'm just looking at him, where is he?
He was
Terrifying. Terrifying.
But he was lethal
Especially when
in
you're
attack.
18 and you're weighing 80
Mate, he was
kilos.
so tall. He'd hit the line, he'd throw it around him, flick it over.
Reasonable back row.
He was a very good player. And then
Him
you had
and
Cardi
Liam.
on the other side.
Yeah, him and Liam Martin would be good on the drink together.
And Spook.
And
The
Spoon.
Peach.
Oh, yeah, what a player.
I remember Sticky told me all week, he said, the Peach was playing, and he said, don't do this, don't take dummies, or don't do this. And I got into the game, he just ran past me. Come after and sticks out. I told you. I said, mate,
He's a great player.
he moves so smooth. You know, he could pick up gears and change speed, and you didn't even know.
And you know what? When the opposition dropped the ball, he would be there.
Oh,
And the
tackle.
ball, he's one of those players, the ball bounced to him.
Yeah. And he was think attack. They'd have the ball. The opposition would have the ball, and he'd be thinking, now I'm going to get the ball here. So if the ball hit the ground or there was an
Peach.
intercept, he was off and gone. He was very good.
That's a very good exercise, boys.
Yeah,
Most
that was
enjoyable.
fun.
Thursday night footy over at Four Pines Brookie. Manly, always hard to beat at home, but they're up against the best in the comp.
The finals race is heating up. At their home fortress, Manly are fighting to save their season. Cleary's Panthers are hunting back-to-back minor titles. Can DCE find a way through the Great Wall of Penrith? Thursday night footy on 9 and 9 now.
And a bit of breaking news here too on Freddy and the Eighth. 2 big losses for Penrith. Jerome Luai sick, and Mitch Kenny didn't finish the captain's run. Both are out.
Right. Who's 5'8"? Cogger?
I haven't heard replacements, but you would think
Yeah.
so.
Or Salmon?
Be one of those two, yes.
No, they'd go with Cogger for
Cogger's
sure.
in. Sonny Luke will be starting, and they've actually asked the NRL for Luke Summerton to be added to the squad, who is their New South Wales Cup hooker.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Does that change things at all?
They haven't taken. Yeah, definitely. Missing 2 of your players who handle the ball most in the game is your dummy half and your 5'8".
Changes nothing.
No. I think there are 12 to 14 16 different points with them guys out. A lot more pressure on Nathan.
Mitch Kenny's valuable.
He's a good player. And
Did you watch the last?
does a lot of work.
Mate, he comes flying out of the line. Well, you got a hooker who's a bit like Reece Robson. Comes out of the line, belts blokes. Service
Plays in the back row as well.
Yeah.
They'll still win, but I think only by 10 to 12 points.
Manly want to. We'll have a look at the game shortly, but they'll need to improve that. They
last
were
week
dreadful
against
last
the
week.
Roosters, they completed 89.
She's all flat.
Yeah, but you know what? The game, the referee destroyed it. We all agree on that.
And short turnaround.
So Manly completed 89%, and then they scored off a chip kick by Schuster in 65
two
minutes.
chip kicks.
They
wasn't
scored them all off chip
And then
kicks.
Brad Parker scored off a kick, and then the last minute, remember Olakau'atu picked up a loose ball and Kohler scored. So really, none of their tries was from, good ball work. They knew, state the obvious. They knew more out of Schuster. He needs to be in the game every minute.
Yep.
Yeah, Lodge gone too.
Gone.
He hurt himself early
No
in the piece.
LOA, no Paseka.
Front rows.
Gee, they're falling over, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they got Sipley, who was injured. So he went off at one stage.
Kepi starting. And
Kepi.
Jake. Poor old Jake. He's making a million tackles.
Speaking of front rowers, and they are undoubtedly very valuable, Payne Haas set to reject a $3.5 million deal with the Broncos. It's a lot of money.
Over what, 3 years?
I believe
many
so.
years?
I believe
It all
it's
depends on the
over
years.
3 years.
3
Right.
years.
I mean, you can't want any more money, can you?
Well, we're looking at possibly the best front rower we've ever seen. I think people can see that. He's improving his game. He's getting a pass. He's getting an offload, as we're seeing here. We know the player he is, but you can't be spending a big chunk of your salary cap on a front rower, paying more than you can't be paying more than 1.1. When you got Ezra Mann, who I see as a player on the up and up. He's one player I'd be paying real big money for. And you got Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
So if I had to put him in order, Reece Walsh never let him go. Ezra Mann, Reynolds is coming to the end. He's a priority. Payne's a priority, but you can't be paying any more than 1.1. Your salary cap is so out of whack. Whether they can, get third parties and all that.
Not allowed. Club's not allowed.
They need to win the comp. It's one of those things. If he's worth $3.5 million, I think, because he's nearly a 65-minute player.
But I'm saying
he nearly takes. I know, but he nearly takes up from a point of view of front rowers how long they play. In Start of Origin, he played 60-some minutes, and he was going as good as anyone else on the field at the time. He could have played 80 minutes. You'd wear him out without a doubt. He gets a couple of injuries every now and then.
Okay.
But you could buy him now for that, and they go on to win the comp, and it's a bargain. You wait for they win the comp, and he has a blinder, then...
Well, he will have a blinder.
Well, what do you reckon Lazo was paid in the day? Like, let's say...
Well, relative.
Okay.
to the
Relative.
current
Relative.
Okay,
What do you
he
reckon?
went to three big clubs. He was at Canberra,
Is that
then he went to
Canberra?
Melbourne, then he
Yeah.
went...
But that's what I mean.
He went Canberra,
Brisbane, Melbourne.
He would have been paid...
So
I don't think he would have been
They
paid.
went in the comps at Canberra, went to Brisbane, won the comps, went to Melbourne, won the comp.
So if you're paying 1.1 or above that, that's about 11, 12% of your salary cap. That's a lot of money for a front. When you got Ezra Mann and you got Reece Walsh
Well, Reece Walsh is the other key.
and you got Adam Reynolds, he's on contract next year, but he wants to go another year. I mean, there's
Maybe
no
he can't.
halfbacks. Well,
Maybe he can't.
you can if you juggle your salary cap.
Yeah, but
Okay, Ezra Mann, if he was off now and I was at a club, I would pay $900 for Ezra Mann.
Wow.
I think he's a half. His game on the weekend, he was busted. He made some tackles. He did some tough things.
we just spoke about before about front rowers. They've got the best go forward. Not only they got Payne, they got Flegler, and they got all these young kids.
Flegler's going,
And
but
then
they got these young forwards coming
And
through.
then the other one they got is, if he doesn't do it, Ezra, you've got Walsh, who's the best in the comp at it, who's nailing opportunities. So if Ezra's got to go to another club and do all of that, that's a very different job to what he's seen at the moment. They're all looking through rose-coloured glasses at the moment, the Broncos. They're flying.
So he can't want any more money than $3.5 million,
You know what? Some will
can he?
pay.
But it's not 3.5 million, it's 1.1 over 3 years.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but it's the value of the contract that's got to be registered
No,
on
but
the
it's got
account.
you've got to weigh it down.
It'd go up with
You've got
salary.
to weigh it
cap.
down to every year, what it's worth every year.
At that much, I would pay that much, but you couldn't pay any more, like another 150 a
It'd be
year.
interesting what value he is to another club. I wonder what value he is to the Tigers or Canterbury or a team that's down the bottom.
Gee.
Well, mate, he's
Yeah, but you wonder what you can pay. Like, who's the highest paid player?
Kalen. He'll be on 1.4 next year,
1.4.
which is around 14% of his salary cap. And
Right.
mate, he deserves it.
Wasn't Nathan Cleary be on similar money?
No,
I don't think so. I know Delhi Cherubs is on he's up there as well. You've got to be making a difference week in, week out. And you've got to be, and you know what you've got to be doing? You've got to be making semis. If you're getting that money, you need to be making semis. Now, they made a semi this year. Did they make it last year, Brisbane? Or
No, they flopped, remember? They
flopped.
were in the top 4.
I hope he just gets it done and signs and is a one-club man.
Without a doubt, you need to be making semis and you need to be making top 4. If you're getting that sort of money, you need to be making a difference.
Well, they're going to go deep into the finals this year.
They're
if Penrith's fully fit,
favourites.
the only team that can beat them is Brisbane, and they have to be at their very best.
Sam Burgess, boys, head coaching gig over in the UK with Warrington, which he's so well regarded in coaching circles for someone who's never coached before. What skill sets does he bring
He's coached.
that makes him... But there was a war for his services between the Dolphins and Souths.
Was there?
Well, they re-signed Jason Demetrio for a few more years, and I just think he had the opportunity to have his own team. He had his own team at Coffs Harbour. I spoke to him about this, and it's obviously a different league, but he had to chase sponsors, chase players, get the whole thing together. So, mate, that teaches you a lot. So he went up there and what was the team?
Nana Glen? No?
Yeah, one of them.
It was Russell's Crows Farm, was that?
The Axemen.
Axemen or something.
Yeah. And then he's been doing, an assistant for a few years.
I spoke to someone within the organisation because I've talked to the owner at Warrington about Sam. He said his man management is first class, his communication is unbelievable, but he said he just commands respect. And he said he just goes to different players with big egos, players, who sometimes don't get told what they should be told, and he just hits them between the eyes. And they all take it because he's revered. Imagine going to England with the players over there, and he's some of those players.
Was Warrington Simon's team?
Simon Moran's,
Is he still there?
Yeah.
Does he just love it?
Loves it. Loves it. So I think Justin Holbrook they were looking, but he's obviously got a young family. It was a big ask for him to move his family over there.
Well, I think I was talking to him about it, and he's saying bloke from Newcastle, back row, Fitzgibbon.
He's gone there.
Yeah.
He's playing sensational.
Who else is there? They've got Dufty's there.
Paul Vaughan's there.
Paul Vaughan just went there.
Is Cassiano still there?
And there's one other. They got...
George Williams is halfback.
George
They got
Williams,
they got a really
Reasonable
good team.
side.
Yeah, mate, they got a good team. But under Sam, they will go like that, with their shadow of a doubt. Just commands respect. He's tough. He trained with them without a doubt. He keeps everyone accountable. He's hard-working. But he's got that presence. And respect.
I've heard some ex-players say they've got no doubt that he will come back to the NRL and win premierships as a coach.
Yeah.
That's a huge statement.
Yep.
Well...
Do you concur?
Yep.
I think he'll come back and coach. The whole premiership thing,
Oh,
I think he'll be a good coach. You've got to have good players. And he's pretty smart too, so he'll come back to a good club, I'd say.
So is he a footy technician?
Yep.
He might need some work around game plans and halves and that sort of stuff. But, his ego's not that big where he thinks he knows everything. He can go and ask people, and it's important when he gets to Warrington he's got the right assistants. Probably needs an old head there.
Former club champion right here.
No.
Go over there for 6 months.
Go and move.
Go over and be his assistant.
No.
Go to England for 6 months.
No. You've seen me in England have a few breakdowns.
I think you're in the right time of your career to go to England and be his assistant.
No.
Go and hang out with Barry McDermott.
Oh, pick out Cyril's teeth. Hey, Barry, how you going? He'd be watching this.
Your mate Brian Carney's over there.
Brian's there, doing a great job on the rugby league.
He's pretty slick on the rugby league,
Yeah, he's
Brian
good.
Carney.
He's
Does a very good job.
He does the rugby union, and he also does the Gaelic football in Ireland.
Does he really?
Yeah, very talented, very smart man.
Speaking of talented, do you remember the Tokyo Shock boys from the footy show?
Yeah.
I don't know if they were talented or just certifiably mad, but we're back in the footy show archive, and they paid a trip. They paid a trip to Redfern to see Sam Burgess of the Rabbitohs. I wonder how that unfolded.
What's going on? What's going on? What is this? It's a scorpion. Yes, scorpion. Which is macho? Which is macho? You macho? Oh yes. Step back, please. What about me? Step back. Step back.
That's a night out with me and Tom Walker.
Yeah,
They
man.
electrocute their plums, though. They put stuff in their plums and electrocate the
They
plums.
do all sorts of things.
They're shelving things, shoving stuff up the
I don't know what you're talking
Okay, boys. Young 5'8", a lot of them in the competition at the moment. I suppose none of them under as much pressure as Josh Schuster to play his consistent best week in, week out. But a good crop coming through. Ezra Mamble, you've just given him a massive rap there. Toby Sexton, well, he's more halfback.
He's a halfback.
He's a halfback now. Tom Dearden playing unbelievable. And the guy who, in Rookie of the Year discussions, has been forgotten a little bit, is Isaiah Katoa up at the Dolphins, who's played pretty much every game for them this year.
I think if you've got a good halfback that can steer the team around, and you've got a good fullback that's under the pressure or someone else to score the points like most of those teams have, it's a good position to be in. Get a young 5'8", who's a ball runner, and that's a good... If you're going backwards, mate, it's the worst position ever.
I'd like to know whether he could steer a team around, Ezra Mann. I don't know if he... Yeah, Toby Sexton is a genuine number 7. I think he's going to get better and better, especially at the Bulldogs. I don't see Dearden as a halfback. I see him as a tough, competitive, running number 6. This young bloke, the raps have been... He can play first receiver as a halfback. I haven't seen enough.
He's played a lot of halfback this year.
Jonah Pezzett, he's a tidy halfback. He can get him around the park. Amon, I see him as a running 5'8" or a lock. A lock, yep. He's going to get big. So out of those, Schuster, we know the talent. Look, Schuster does things that are breathtakingly brilliant, where you sit back, but you don't see it enough. I want to see him into the game, every set, every minute of the game, and that's a challenge for him. I've said Ezra Mann. For me, he's I don't know whether he could be a genuine number 7. Probably people in the Broncos would know, but he is a gun. He is a gun.
Good tackler too.
Tackles tough.
He saved so many tries this year.
Oh, yeah.
Ezra Mann.
Man,
The
he
other
comes out of the
day,
line.
he was cutting blokes in half.
They've got a good crop of players up there at Brisbane. Now, we've already mentioned NRLW. Round 4 coming up this week on Nine's Wide World of Sports. And here is a snippet of NRLW Weekly with our mates Marley Silva and Ruan Sims.
Thanks, Tomo. Well, Ru, we have a cracking weekend of women's footy ahead of us again, as it feels like it's been every single week. But can you tell us what is the best game to look out for this weekend?
I think all of them. You've got to watch all of them. All of them. Watch all of our coverage. But stay tuned throughout the whole weekend because I believe the game of the round is going to be up at Newcastle. The last NRLW game at Knights v Titans up there. There are superstars on both sides here. And it's smattered across the board. The fullbacks are phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's just skill set wise, kill it. And then the forward packs, there's going to be a lot of big collisions happening. So I'm really excited about this game. This is my one to watch. And however, I do feel, I just get the feeling that the Knights are going to hand the Titans their first loss of the season.
Okay. I think there's going to be some heat in that one.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be pretty tight. And yeah, the question is, will the Titans get their first loss or will they continue being undefeated?
I don't mind being proven wrong.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Well, yeah, we cannot wait to watch that unfold. And all the women's footy, that's going to be amazing across the weekend. So make sure you're checking it out. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Marley. Thank you, Roo, doing a wonderful job with our coverage of the NRLW. Let's rip into the games we've got coming for you. Round 24
Can
of
I
the
just
NRL.
mention something?
Yes.
We just had Ryan Pappenhausen head behind you. Good to see Paps back.
Indeed.
Would you
He's
have put
gone.
I would have put him in.
First grade.
He only played the first half.
I don't care. I'd put him straight in. I would have put him straight in this
They'd
one.
be pretty good. They're in a good position, Melbourne.
It's great to see him back
He had
out
some
there
great
anyway.
touches. Oh, I only seen the highlights, but laid on a couple of tries. 2 try assists. Looked sharp.
Could imagine
sharp.
it'd be a massive relief for
Got
him.
banged
too.
a couple of times. He got hit. So
Good on him. Well done, Pappy. Good to see you back in the game. Manly, Penrith, we mentioned earlier, a couple out for the Panthers. Manly struggling for troops up front. They're a different team at home, Manly, aren't they?
Yeah,
Like
true.
they're a totally different side.
Yeah. All on the back of the halfback, kicking. He just kicks well there all the time. He knows the ground so well. He's very confident there. I think they've got to go to Saab. He'll be on Taruva's side. That
Freddie,
side right
I'm
there.
sensing you're giving Manly a chance here.
Well,
No.
DC has done some things this year where, as a halfback, and if you kick well, you can have as big an impact on the game as anyone. And he needs to get it all right. But I think Penrith just wear you down.
Penrith win.
They just wear you down.
I think it'll be a lot closer. Be 1-12, one of those. Penrith and 1-12.
And the other thing is, Manly missing front rowers. No Paseka, no Lodge. Who's the other one?
Aloya.
LIA. It's tough.
Friday night footy at the Gabba. Broncos, Eels. Last throw at the dice for Para.
Broncos by plenty. They are flying.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're so fast, aren't they?
they'd be loving training at the moment. They
Yeah.
would be just buzzing up there in the heat.
And it's 26 degrees.
They
Shirts
would be
off.
loving it.
Let's do the weights with the shirts off. Arm curls, that's fitless
Yeah.
go. Coming into summer. Donkey squats. Look at that. Ezra, my man.
I'd love to see Katani Staggs doing weights with his shirt off.
DJ and Arcee put in the centres against Katoni.
He's played a bit of centre.
I know, but from what I saw, he just hasn't played enough first grade to keep pace the whole game.
Okay.
Was it
So I think
the second last try when Katoni got on the outside of Petahiku? Couldn't get a hand
Yeah.
on him. And then he threw it inside and Drinkwater knocked it to Walsh.
that's dangerous.
Just the power of Katoni.
Then you got
Nightmare.
Cobbo on the outside, so if
Be a
you
nightmare to tackle.
look in at all, you'll put Cobbo away.
So you concede that Penrith, very, very hard to beat. If anyone is going to beat them, it's Brisbane. And then there's light years to the next lot. Is that how it looks?
I think South are the only team that have beat them both. On their day, with all their players, I think South are as dangerous as any other team. They've beat them both this year, the only team.
Could Penrith... They've won the last 2 premierships. Could this one... I'm not going to say easy. Could they win this in the softest manner of the 3?
Only if Brisbane get beat.
Something always happens.
Brisbane will be a tough
Look over
grand
the
final.
last 30 years, there's teams where you think they're unbeatable. Manly in the mid-90s were like that.
Warriors.
Well, you blokes in the early 2000s, you just looked unbeatable.
Yeah.
The Penrith Rolgers that night. Funny things can happen on the big
That's
night.
the beauty of the game. Saturday night footy here on 9 as well for the rest of the regular season. Roosters Dolphins, we're back at Allianz this Saturday night.
I'm going Dolphins in this one.
You're going the Dolphins.
Yeah, they're a team that doesn't beat himself. They were very close to beating the Knights last week.
Clawed their way back into that.
They're just a
think-
Wayne Bennett coach team. They can high completions,
Yeah.
good discipline.
Got a
I
good
think they're a big
halfback.
chance.
The halfback keeps them in the game.
Drew
Sullivan.
Hutchison.
And I think the Roosters actually found a bit of nice form last week.
Dylan Napa back.
They completed high. They run a bit low on stocks, but I think there's enough players there to. There's your problem. He's the one they've got to worry about.
What a player.
Fast.
Who would have thought he'd turn into their marquee signing? Everyone was saying, we can't find a marquee big-name player. Well, there he is right there. He's been,
He would have been none better.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
He came through that crop of Cairns. He's from Cairns, isn't he? You got Hemiso, you got Helam Lukey, you got Jeremiah Nene. Must have a good junior system up there in Cairns.
Then Sunday footy up at McDonald Jones Stadium. Packed house. Andrew John stand pumping with mid-strength beer.
They do mixed drinks,
Newcastle
didn't
versus Canterbury. Now, boys, I reckon... Well, I was about, in the podcast I did with Gus, I was about to say, I think Canterbury will win.
Oh, mate.
they? What?
But apparently, there's a flu sweeping through Belmore.
Oh, Gus is too good. He's got you.
Has he?
Yeah,
Is that
he's got
complete bull?
He got a text message while he was on TV and said that all of Canterbury are crook.
On paper.
That's awesome.
On
They got a-
podcast, Brad.
They got a strong forward pack on paper.
This is the best team they put out all year. Kick hours in, Pangai Juniors. Luke Thompson plays his first NRL game of the season. You know he broke his ankle in the captain's run before game 1.
That's unreal.
Luke Thompson.
How?
At training.
That's for Willie and
Hogan.
And the captain's run before game one.
At me.
No way. They haven't got Kalen.
How good's he been the last?
Mate, unbelievable.
The last 6 weeks. Absolutely.
And once he gets on the...
Daniel Saf back?
I don't know.
I saw his name somewhere. Maybe on an extended bench.
I don't think he's playing.
Geez, it'd be handy to have both the front rowers
Both
there.
Safs are out.
Both are out?
I think so. So Jacob last week strained his hamstring.
Right.
And Daniel had a quad.
Mm.
Geez, Leo Thompson's a good player.
Matt Croker played big minutes for you last week
he's
as
a good
well.
player. It's one of those players you need in your team to win.
All right,
Knights
Newcastle in 7th position heading into round 24.
I'll get upwards of 25,000 this year.
It would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Mid-strength beer on the Andrew Johnston.
Nervous already.
Andrew,
yes.
Do you have any words of wisdom this
I have
week?
actually. I've got two-pronged. The first one is don't seek happiness, create it. And then the follow-on of that is
Namaste.
If you want to be happy, stop complaining.
Thank you, Kate. Did you just get a couple of words of wisdom on the way out the door?
Nose out the mouth.
Namaste.
Very good.
Do this breathing stuff. And you breathe when you go like this. Lion's breath. Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. Anyway, don't seek happiness, create it. If you want to be happy, stop complaining. Say that to your teenage son.
All teenagers, Andrew. That's Freddy and the Eighth for this week. Look forward to joining you for round 24. We've got some cracking footy, both men's and women's across the weekend. These boys will be here. Look forward to chatting next week.